So right now there's definitely a wave of like mesh runners that are releasing. Adidas has a couple different versions. They have the Response CL, which I did a review on, as well as the Adistar Cushion, which I did a review on. I like both of these quite a bit. But they had another pair pop up and I was like, dude, I kind of want to see how these are and compare them to the others. So I have the SPIRITAIN 2000s, if that's how you actually say the name. I wanted to call them the Spartans, to be honest. But these are actually a nice budget-friendly pair that retail at $100. And they actually have some colorways that you can get as low as like $45 right now, any which way. This is not the one that is on sale, but I was like, dude, it's kind of a fun-looking mesh runner that is a decent price point, entry-level price point. And so I wanted to give you guys kind of my 2 cents versus some of the other models that I have out here and just give you guys some sort of comparison. But let's go ahead and get into it. I want to call these the Spartans, but it says they're the SPIRITAIN 2000s. I don't know the name. I don't really like the name of these shoes, and I feel like that is not a W for the shoe, but I do like the overall design and aesthetics of the shoe. Just simply straight out of the box, I'm looking here, and this colorway specifically pops to me. I love the red accents with the white and like kind of off-white cream accents of little hits of silver as well. It does say there's Adiprene Plus on the midsole, as you can see here in the silver section, which I like that. I like the lateral side of the shoe as well. You can see the extra little design elements in the midsole. That really reminds me of like the 90s and stuff, like the late 90s, early 2000s, where they had a bunch of different colors like this coming across the midsole. It's a simple little line here, but it adds a lot of pop to the midsole. For some reason, I just really dig that. You have a fairly standard mesh upper, but the interesting thing is this actually looks like a more premium mesh than like some of the other pairs, which is weird. It's almost like it has a dual layer of mesh on here, which adds a nice little effect to what you're looking at. And again, this is a $100 entry level pair. Some of the other ones are $140. So it's nice that they have a different looking, fun looking mesh to the shoe. Then you do have a lot of different layers on the upper. They do feel like synthetic leather, so it doesn't feel like real leather or anything like that. That's fine. But there's a lot of different layers there. And then over top of some of the like cut and sew layers, there's like another interesting like fused on layer of silver hits and stuff. Adds a nice little look to the shoe as well there. You do have some fused material on the heel cup of the shoe in red in the back, but also you do have the 3 stripes on the sides that are fused on. They're fused on in red with a bunch of lines through the red, and then you do have a piping in black. The tongue features a fused on Adidas logo as well as a fused on Adidas logo on the heel. And then on the left side of the toe box, you can see there is actually an embroidered 3 stripes. Again, just a subtle, nice, small detail. And for a budget-friendly shoe, you're actually getting something that is well branded, and I don't know, I just appreciate what they did. Now as for the back of the shoe, you can see there's a FORMOTION here, and that is also featured on the CLs. So it looks fairly similar on both pairs, and just an extra little support structure on the back for stability. For the outsoles, it kind of reminds me of the CL a little bit again, because it does have the torsion on the bottom and the middle. The Adistar has a different torsion system on the bottom. It looks a lot fancier on this version, to be honest. And then also you do have the Adiprene in the midsole out back here, and I like this one. This one is probably my favorite of the 3, to be honest. Just overall, I like the aesthetics of the Adistar, but I'll get in more into a comparison in just a second. Now the outsole traction is actually pretty decent on here as well. It doesn't say it's continental rubber. It says Adiwear back here, but you do have a bunch of circular patterns over top of the outsole traction. Some little small red dots, which kind of might trigger people because of the little fear of holes. And then you have larger black and smaller black circles on the traction patterns on the bottom as well. An interesting take on the traction. I'm not sure I really like that. Again, trigger warning for people that get triggered by the fear of holes. But they're on the bottom of the shoe. Honestly, you'll probably never see it. And I never noticed it until now. Now, Adidas says this is a sneaker with dynamic cushioning made in part with recycled material. Comfort and motion come together in the Adidas SPIRITAIN 2000 sports shoe. With FORMOTION technology under the heel, these shoes adapt to your every step for a smooth ride no matter where your day takes you. The textile upper is super durable with Adiprene cushioning, while Adiprene cushioning puts extra spring in your stride. Whether wandering the cobblestone streets or meeting friends for coffee, the SPIRITAIN 2000 makes getting there the best part of the adventure. I swear I'm saying this name wrong. I don't feel comfortable saying SPIRITAIN. I'm going to call these the Spartans. Anyways, overall shoe, I actually really dig what they created in this package. These are actually really lightweight as well. So for comparison, a men's 9.5, these are 10.5 ounces, which is pretty light. And they don't feel like they've cheated you on like rubber or anything like that by making these light. It feels like a lightweight mesh upper. The Response CLs are much, much heavier. These are 14.6 ounces. More stability, definitely a heavier, thicker rubber and midsole on that pair. And then the Adistar Cushion weighs in at 13.2 ounces. So this one's in between the other two. And this pair reminds me more of like a tech heavy mesh runner. There's like tons and tons of fused TPU layers over top of the upper, which I personally like. I think that looks really, really dope. The midsole is also chunky and fun and has lots of different variations in textures and materials and stuff all over the shoe, but done in a sporty like mesh runner sort of vibe. This kind of reminds me of that early 2000, Nike Air Max Plus era. And then this one's a little bit more old fashioned with not as much TPU plastic overlays and stuff as the Adistars, but this one has a nice mesh upper. Definitely more lightweight, definitely more breathable for the upper. I'd say overall functionality of these are really good as well, just because they are a comfortable like pair for everyday use. It's not like an Adidas Boost pair of comfort or like the Light Strike Pros or their Dream Strike cushioning, which I have a new pair coming out with that on it. That's absolutely amazing. So these are like just an everyday comfort pair of sneakers, one that you could wear and be happy wearing them. Again, lighter than the other two shoes. Cheaper at retail, again, at $100 instead of $140 or so for the other models. If you guys are interested in buying any of these models, I'll link them in the description. I have seen all of these models on sale as low as $48 depending on the colorways. Some of the colorways are not as good. Some of the colors are really good and they've had them on sale. And then sometimes they put them on sale and then they remove the sale and then put them back. So just always check back on Twitter, and I always post all the deals I find over there. And I'm always actively looking for deals on pairs that I've reviewed and ones that I'm like got in hand. I'm like, dude, these are actually pretty nice. Like I would tell people like this is like a fun pair of sneakers. There's other colorways that I put on sale that these were like $60 or so, not a bad price at all. And for this one, I think there's colorways out there available right now for like $40, which is crazy. But a nice $100 pair of runners. And you know, I like the mesh runners. I've always loved them from back in the, you know, the late 90s, early 2000s to now. I've just always appreciated them. I've always been drawn to them. So it's fun that they're coming back around in a new cycle of just new, different, fun looking models. And hopefully you guys like the review. If you guys want to buy any of them, again, link in the description. If there's any codes, I'll also put those down there. And then if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, like the video if you like it, and hopefully you'll see you back for some more content. All right, peace guys.